Pointillism is a technique of painting in which small, distinct dots of pure color are applied in patterns to form an image. Georges Seurat and Paul Signac developed the technique in 1886, branching from Impressionism. The term Pointillism was first coined by art critics in the late 1880s to ridicule the works of these artists, and is now used without its earlier mocking connotation. The technique is also known as Divisionism. The movement Seurat began with this technique is known as Neo-Impressionism. Technique. The technique relies on the ability of the eye and mind of the viewer to blend the color spots into a fuller range of tones. It is related to Divisionism, a more technical variant of the method. Divisionism is concerned with color theory, whereas Pointillism is more focused on the specific style of brushwork used to apply the paint. It is a technique with few serious practitioners today, and is notably seen in the works of Seurat, Signac and Cross. However, see also Andy Warhol's early works, and pop art. Practice. The practice of Pointillism is in sharp contrast to the traditional methods of blending pigments on a palette. Pointillism is analogous to the four-color CMYK printing process used by some color printers and large presses that place dots of cyan, magenta, yellow, and key. Televisions and computer monitors use a similar technique to represent image colors using red, green, and blue colors. If red, blue, and green light are mixed, the result is something close to white light. Painting is inherently subtractive, but pointillist colors often seem brighter than typical mixed subtractive colors. This may be partly because subtractive mixing of the pigments is avoided, and partly because some of the white canvas may be showing between the applied dots. The painting technique used for pointillist color mixing is at the expense of the traditional brushwork used to delineate texture. The majority of pointillism is done in oil paints. Anything may be used in its place, but oils are preferred for their thickness and tendency not to run or bleed. Music. Pointillism also refers to a style of 20th century music composition. Different musical notes are made in seclusion, rather than in a linear sequence, giving a sound texture similar to pointillism. This type of music is also known as punctualism or fanfare melody. Notable artists: Charles Angrand, Chuck Close, Henri Edmond Cross, Henri de Laval, copyrightee, Albert Dubois-Pilot, Louis Fabien, Georges Lemon, Maximilien Luce, Camille Pissarro, John Roy, Georges Seurat, Paul Signac, Vincent van Gogh, Thar copyright O van Rysselberghe, Hippolyte Petitjean. Notable paintings: A Sunday Afternoon on the Island of La Grande Jatte by Georges Seurat, Bathing at Asnières by Georges Seurat, The Windmills at Overschie by Paul Signac, Banks of Seine by Georges Seurat, A Coastal Scene by Thar copyright O van Rysselberghe, Family in the Orchard by Thar copyright O van Rysselberghe, Countryside at Noon by Thar copyright O van Rysselberghe. Afternoon at Perdigon by Henri Edmond Cross, Rio San Travaso, Venice by Henri Edmond Cross, The Seine in Front of the Trocadero by Henri Edmond Cross, The Pine Tree at Saint-Tropez by Paul Signac, Against the Enamel of Background Rhythmic with Beats and Angels by Paul Signac, The Yellow Sail, Venice by Paul Signac, Notre Dame Cathedral by Maximilien Luce, La Pont de Pierre, Rouen by Charles Angrand, The Beach at Heist by Georges Lemon, Aileen Maréchal by Georges Lemon, Vase of Flowers by Georges Lemon. Neo-Pointillism. Neo-Pointillism is a further development of Pointillism. This style of art was born in the late 20th early 21st century. Neo-Pointillism artists: François Mathieu, Gallery. See also, Divisionism, micromontage, similar technique in music, Neo-Impressionism, punctualism, stippling, references. External links: Georges Seurat, 1859–1891. A fully digitized exhibition catalogue from the Metropolitan Museum of Art Libraries, Signac, 1863–1935, a fully digitized exhibition catalogue from the Metropolitan Museum of Art Libraries.